It is 5:45 p.m. Monday, November 3rd. We will call the special city council meeting to order. If you could join me for the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect, thank you. And with that, Nick, we can jump right into the approval of Hartford insurance policies for life, accidental death, and dismemberment, short-term disability, long-term disability, and Minnesota paid leave beginning January 1st, 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. So this was necessitated by the Minnesota legislature having passed their Minnesota paid leave law in 2023, codified in statute 268B, which affects all employers across the state of Minnesota. And it creates a short-term disability-like coverage for nearly all Minnesota employees. The program takes effect on January 1st, 2026. And the goal of this legislation is to ensure economic security during life events such as serious illness, childbirth, or caregiving. Cities generally do provide short-term, long-term accidental death and dismemberment and life insurance policies as part of group benefits. For the city of Mayor, we do the same. And so when this law came about, since some of it mirrors on the short-term disability, we decided to go out and take a look at our group benefits as a whole, as well as make sure we're in compliance with the Minnesota paid leave law. With the Minnesota paid leave law specific, you have a couple of choices. You can go out to the private sector for a quote for the same coverage, or you can elect to go with the state program through the Department of Employment and Economic Development. How the state and the private programs work is that a certain percentage, the premium to cover the amounts that is required by state law is determined through a percentage of the payroll wages that an entity has. For the state program, that is going to be 0.88% of those payroll wages. And state law says that if you go with the state's program, that at a minimum is split between employer and employee at 0.44% each. So 0.44 and 0.44 for the 0.88 total. If you go to a private plan, which you can do, that's what we'll be recommending. The state law, as we are told, also states that the employer still has to meet that minimum of 0.44. With the balance of that, whatever your rate you get would be owed by the employee. So what we did is city staff gave our current group benefits policies to a third-party agent, and we said go out and look for group benefits that are apples to apples what we currently had, but then also get the paid family medical leave to wrap the whole thing into one nice picture so we don't have overlaps or conflicts or anything like that. The agent that we were working with came back with two quotes. One was from the Hartford, excuse me, and one was from Principal. Those two were apples to apples. The Hartford was the lower of the two, so that's the one we're evaluating right now. Lincoln Life is who we currently have our group benefits with, but because those are just group benefits and not paid leave, we have kind of a two-step that we're looking at here. One is the changeover of group benefits in general, then the other is electing the company to go with the paid leave on. So when we look at the group benefits as a whole, we're currently on an annual basis, we're paying just shy of $5,000 a year on the group benefits. The Hartford, as the low one on there, came back with group benefits matching our existing plan at about $1,758.24. You might say, holy cow, that's pretty low. And so what we heard from the agent is the Hartford has been very aggressive with this changeover and pulling in small groups like ours. They want to get a lot of them under their umbrella, so they've been very aggressive with their rates in that. We got the Principal and the Hartford on the paid leave, and the Hartford was lower by about 50-ish bucks on the paid leave on an annual basis, but on the group benefits, they were cheaper by about $1,100. So overall, they win on that front. So I just want to go through a real quick comparison between the state program and the Hartford, just so we understand. So The total volume is the total wages, the W-2 wages that the city has that we take into account. So the state program here, the total rate basis is 0.88, and that's a 50% split here between 0.44 on each. So the total premium that is split between the employer and the employee would be the 2,500 roughly on that. And then you have the total down here. So you have the 0.88, which is the adding of these two to match up and balance out there. And then the total here, which then balances the total there. So we have our math working out for us. When we look at the Hartford, instead of the 0.88, we received a quote for 0.809 on that. So the total premium being $4,601. As I explained before, we still have to stay at the 0.44 of that, but then the remainder is then owed by the employee. So our portion here for the premium on an employer basis stays the same, but the employee portion is reduced on that, lessening the burden on there. And that's where you get the total match of that 4,601 on the group benefit, or not the group, the paid family medical leave. And historically, when we talk about the group benefits, those have been 100% paid for by the city. So we're just going to roll that forward on that. And then that's where you see the employer split on this. So this, the 4966, that's just the group benefits because paid leave wasn't included with Lincoln. In this, you have the split of the paid leave. So the 2502, and then you add in that amount here, and that brings you to the 246064, with the employee portion of it being right there. Couple notes on that. Mentioned the aggressiveness of the small groups with the Hartford, which is good to see. We have a 2-year rate guarantee on this, and we can switch at any time. So we're not beholden to this for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. If rates jump, if rates change, if something happens where we can get a better deal elsewhere, we can certainly change on that. Any other questions I can field on this?
And all staff's okay with going from not paying anything to having to?
That's a requirement on the paid
It's a
leave end of
requirement.
things.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't.
Yeah,
okay.
they don't have a choice.
Yep.
Okay.
There's no choice.
Okay.
So this is, so the 0.44 is the minimum the city is required to pay. If at some point in the future, the city want to take on the total burden, that's a decision for city council, but this is the minimum that the employer is required to pay on that amount. The rest is the employees.
Okay.
Keep in mind that employee 2,098 and 60 cents is the entire amount for all the employees for the year, including council, paid on call, part-time. That's everybody.
Oh,
Yep, this is
So that's a small, it's going to be a small amount when it gets divided.
okay.
you know,
Okay. I thought that was per employee. Sorry.
yes.
Oh, no,
So
no,
yeah,
that's
very,
employees. That's
very good
employees.
point. This 2,100 is going to be split,
I was,
prorated amongst all
okay.
boards.
So that's
Now,
very, very,
prorated,
very
our
minuscule
salaries are
then.
much lower,
Okay,
and
yep,
paid
yep,
on
yep, yep.
calls is much lower than maybe the administrator.
Got
So
it. Got it.
Nick will probably be the one who gets hit the hardest.
Okay. Okay. That I thought it was per employee.
No,
Nope, not
I was
per
like, are
employee.
they sure? You know, that's a
Right.
lot.
You guys talk about this?
Okay, so I just have a question.
Yes.
Because, okay. Where did the original, like, because it's how do I explain it? So is the 0.88 or the 0.809, that is, how is that determined if this is like a state program where like Social Security, like it's, you know, it's a standard deduction. Like, how is that? Because from everything I've read, it's by number of employees, determines what percentage each employer has to pay.
If you're the state's program, it doesn't matter how many employees it is, that's going to be your number.
Okay. So how can Hartford
Now,
do lower?
I'm sorry. I really, I'll clarify on that. I apologize. If you qualify as a very small employer, then this rate changes on the state program.
Okay.
And I forget what that threshold is.
I thought it was 30.
as a low
I think it's
amount.
30 employee or
Yeah.
And we have 50 something when we count firefighters and all that.
right. So then you'd be paying a higher.
Yeah, so
But what
If-
is that percent? Like that's where I'm trying to understand the program is how can Hartford provide a different rate if we have 55 employees?
they're able to do it more efficiently than the state can.
Mhm.
So you're not required to go with the state. You can get a private sector option to do the exact same thing as the state program. And then Principal and Hartford were both lower than the state program.
It's like just going with a different bank for a loan.
And Hartford's a big.
I
big
mean, I
company.
mean, I understand that. I don't understand how it works. What
'Cause they're
in the
private.
sense of I understand that, but like this money goes into a pool of money that people can grab. And I've heard that these rates are only like guaranteed for like 6 months and they could go up
Ours is a 2-year.
2 year. Okay.
Ours
that's
is a
good
2-year. State will change on an annual basis, depending. They can only go to a maximum of 1.2 under state law.
question. And can you change every year?
Yes.
then? Yeah, just like a normal
Yep.
plan. Okay. Okay.
As far as how they derive these numbers, I don't have the foggiest clue. Insurance,
Good luck.
insurance, I am weak at. That's why we gave it to the third party to shop
Well,
around.
right.
it.
I mean, it's like unemployment. Unemployment's based on is also a percentage based on people who draw from you too. And that does vary and that's issued every year. So I don't know if that will move to something like that. But if in like 2 years that jumps up,
Or in 6 months.
no, it's not like they've got you.
Right. We could switch to another carrier or go to the state plan if the state plan ends up being cheaper.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for answering those questions.
Any other questions? With none, then I will look for a motion to change our current group benefits from Lincoln to Hartford, along with having Hartford be the administrator for the Minnesota paid leave program with the employer contribution of $4,260.64 and the employee's contribution of $2,098.60.
I would say have it, put it according to the rate rather than the dollar amount.
Okay. Well, I was adding in, and that's the rate just for the program, right? Not the added in for the group benefits. So you want to just,
So we would continue to fund the group benefits
Okay.
at 100% because that's what we currently
Fair
do
enough.
now. And then the PM paid family leave, the employer rate would be the 0.44 and the employee
fair enough.
rate.
Yep, that makes more sense. All right. Then I'll look for a motion to transfer our group benefits from Lincoln to Hartford and then have Hartford be the administrator of the paid leave with a percentage, employee percentage of 0.44%, employee proportion at 0.369%, effective January 1st, 2026.
Motion. Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Thanks again, Nick. And if you could thank Tracy for doing some legwork and working through some of this also, or Alicia and.
Yeah,
and
big
staff.
thanks to Tracy. She did the yeoman's effort on this.
Certainly appreciate it.
Working on it.
Big savings. So with that, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. With that, we will move to consider approval of hire for Public Works Utility Operator.
Thank you, Mayor. For the Public Works Utilities Operator position, we received 15 applications. Greg and I met, we reviewed the applications. We selected 5 to move to the interview phase of hiring. And we did interviews on October 28th and October 30th, Tuesday and Thursday last week respectively. Upon the conclusion of the interviews, we deliberated and came to the decision for recommendation to hire. And we are formally recommending Josh Hargrove for hire as the new Public Works Utility Operator. Josh joins us from the city of Chanhassen, where he works as a parks operator. He began with Chanhassen in 2020 and brings 5 years of experience in parks as well as some streets to help our operations. We believe his experience, personality, and demeanor will be a great fit for our team. We're recommending that City Council approve the hire at Public Works Utilities Operator Step 3, which would be $30.12 per hour, as well as at the first tier of PTO accrual. So talking with Josh, he has accepted these terms tentatively, and his first day would be Monday, November 24th, 2025.
Any questions?
What's our other public works utility operator is at step 4, right? Or we don't know. I don't remember, sorry. I know
4 or
she-
5. 4 or 5.
Okay.
5. I think it was.
All right, with that, then I'll look for a motion to approve the hiring of Joshua Hargrove at a utility operator step 3 and first tier of PTO accrual tentatively starting Monday, November 24th.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone coming in for the special meeting as we're under a time crunch to get some of this information to the state. So with that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Yeah, say your motion again 5 times fast, man. That was like Sally, so see, she doesn't.
You guys, that was funny. You guys did it.